Ruck It with Kyran Bracken and Nick Easter. The rugby podcast that doesn't take itself too seriously.
Morning, listeners. Welcome to Ruck It in lockdown. We are back on our sofas and we got a few things to talk about, chewing the fat about what we've been up to recently, what's happening, in the rugby world. Obviously no playing as far as that's concerned. Our alternative Rugby 15, and we also hear from Rees-Zammit, the Gloucester and Wales winger, and Nicky Little, a legendary Fijian fly half who played as a 9-10 combo with you, Brax, didn't he, at Harrison?
That's right, what a great lad, and we'll be listening to him later. Boy, can he sing still.
Yeah, I bet he can. So, hopefully you enjoy it.
Ruck It with Kyran Bracken and Nick Easter.
So, Nick, another week's gone by in lockdown, and I can see that the clippers have been used to good effect. And the big question is, Nick, who actually did the damage? Did you have faith in the wife? Obviously, your little one is a bit young to be doing it, but did you do it yourself? Is it a bit self and a bit of the wife?
It was a bit of both, mate, and it needed to be done. I mean, it was
good.
It was about 8 weeks growth, and all it looks like is a massive Brillo pad on my head, as you would have seen last week.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got time on your hands, haven't you, in this lockdown? I don't have any clippers myself, so my neighbour across the road, who I know he's actually a uni mate, he had a set of clippers, so he obviously social distancing, plonked them on my doorstep.
Yeah.
And they're ones with one guard on it, and you can change the length, so quite good.
Yeah.
So I thought, how's this going to go? And I sort of asked the missus, look, I'll have a go at it. Because like anything, mate, unless it's a professional, you do it yourself. If it's an amateur doing it, mate, it's going to hurt. So the missus started trying to cut my hair with some sort of blade, and it was pulling my hair out. It's a funny old blade. You sort of pull the hair and you try and taper it off. And it was killing me, and I was being a right girl about it. So I thought, right, I'll get the clippers on, round the side, see what it is. So I put it on a 7. And little did I know later, actually, that my mate told me that actually the length is too lower than what it says. So it's a good job I did put it on a 7. I put it on a 7 round one side, put it on a 7 round the other side, and it conked out. And he hadn't charged it. And I thought, he stitched me up here. And he put it in, to be honest, he dropped it off in the morning, but I didn't get going until sort of 5 o'clock in the evening. And I thought, so I texted him and called him, and he wouldn't answer his phone. He didn't answer his text, and it was getting to about 7 o'clock. And I was like, look, I know I'm not seeing many people because you're in lockdown, but I do like to walk the dog or go out for a jog here. And I'm not doing it with a complete medieval monk cadfile type haircut, like a proper bowl cut.
Oh, brilliant.
And anyway, and then the next door neighbour, direct next door neighbour, he told me he had some clippers, a week before or something like that. I said, mate, I'm in a desperate situation. I need to borrow your clippers. And he goes, yeah, I've got clippers, but the problem is I don't, the only length I've got is a 0 because I don't have the attachment. So I went, well, I ain't doing that. I'll wait for the guy across the road to, give me the charger. And luckily, he sort of around at 8:30, he said, yeah, mate, I'm in, come and pick up the charger. So I stuck it in and started doing it, to be honest, mate. And the back and sides is okay. It's how you deal with the top. And eventually just decided, put it on a 0, wet the hair, spike it up. And I just bravely, we're just cutting it with the 0 on the top, and obviously trying not to make a massive dent or hole in it. And I think
it looks all right.
It's not too patchy.
I'm not being funny, but you found a second career. I mean, seriously, that actually looks all right. It does look good. But the missus, did you sort of notice while she was doing it, she was clenching her sort of like teeth, and she was like having a go at you? Was it right? Now's my time to ruin him. She
doesn't want the hooligan haircut, mate. And I was sort of teasing, going, oh, I think I've gone a bit too low. I'm going to have to take it all off. But she was good as well, mate. She tidied it up, did a proper job round the back sides and everything else. Because
we cut. So I say me and my wife cut our eldest son. This new haircut that these kids have, where they have it really short on the sides, up to the back, and then they push it all down at the front. Like Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
So. I've got the old clippers that I used on me, which didn't work so well, and sort of had a go at his. And I did all around the sides pretty good, but we couldn't really. I now realise how professional and how expertise the barbers are, because trying to sort of get a nice, as opposed to having a proper bowl haircut, was actually quite difficult. But we got the scissors out and made it actually look all right. So I can imagine there's a few botched sessions out. I saw Suzanne Shaw, who I know quite well from Dancing Night. She was cutting her eldest son's hair. It was so funny that she's arguing, he's shouting at her, and she's laughing. But it's quite a nervous thing to do. But the two other boys have refused to have their hair cut, so maybe they have that. Maybe it doesn't look that good. I notice you must be in the West Wing now, because there's no pictures in the background of you playing. So you've got a nice skyline of London there. So
hey, I'll tell you why I'm here. As I said, because at the 11th hour yesterday, you remember him, Rory Jenkins. Bosh.
Oh, Bosh, what a legend.
But, mate, he phones me up. So we did something, just before I move on to that, we did something quite good from a social point of view yesterday. Is a few of us neighbours, we wheeled our barbecues out into the front yard, because we get the sun in the afternoon, and had a barbecue over the front gardens. Nice little social barbecue. So that was good fun. And I've got about 3 or 4 missed calls from Rory Jenkins. I'm like, what's he? He goes, mate, I need you to call me about urgency. Need a massive favour. I was thinking, what on earth could it be?
He wants your barbecue, doesn't he?
And yeah, well, exactly. And anyway, I think he's consulting from a law side, but this celebrity esports company, so electronic sports or whatever. They're running a big FIFA 20 competition on PlayStation, raising money for all the NHS charities. They're hoping to raise 5 million, which is astonishing. Anyway, John Terry pulled out yesterday because I think Aston Villa have their own charity and it clashed or whatever it might be. And he says, look, we need a celebrity sportsman. I said, well, why on earth are you phoning me then? But we got past that, and I've got to play. I think I'm playing Josh Butler at about 3:00 today.
Oh,
on FIFA Football. It's on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube and everything. I'll get all the social media stuff out there. So literally this morning I've been busy, and the reason I'm in the West Wing, as you say, I've been busy, and you'll notice a couple of guitars here, but I've been busy setting up all this PlayStation gear. I'm not sure if you can see it.
Oh, yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
The setup's up there. You've got. I don't know what player is up there, but it's.
Are you good though? Are you any good?
There's the PlayStation, mate. I've never played it in my life.
Oh, you're going to be shocking. Oh, it's going to be embarrassing.
So I'm on the phone. This is why I was a bit late logging in here. I was on the phone to the guy setting it all up. There's a view cam. You got your headphones and all that. I can do the HDMI cable. I'm not that much of a dinosaur, but that's about it. And he's setting me up on it, and I said, right, mate. You've just got to give me literally a fool's guide. What is shoot? What is pass?
Oh, no.
What is tackle?
Oh, this is going to be so embarrassing. I'm
You've got all these buttons on the back, and I have no idea, mate. But I think I'm going to play one game. I think just before I take him on, but I'm not expecting anything big. I can tell you that. I'm
cringing right now for it. I can imagine Josh Butler he's playing it all the time. They tour 8 months of the year. He'll be absolutely fantastic, and you'll be kicking it into your own net. That is going to be brilliant. But shall we have a chat with our first guest this week, Lewis Rees-Zammit from Gloucester, who I'm sure can give you some tips on how to play FIFA football.
Hi, are you okay?
Yeah, good. Thanks for coming on our podcast. So yeah, I mean, first of all, just a quick catch up on what's life like for you at the moment. Uncertainty, obviously, going back to playing the Premiership. But how are you keeping yourself busy in lockdown? As you can see, myself has sort of had a bit of a haircut, and Nick Easter might have put a bit of weight on. But you look like you're happy as Larry in your little kitchen.
Yeah. Well, there's not much you can do apart from train once a day, and then I go back home to gym. Just bought a new watt bike, so been smashing that a bit.
So what are you doing? What are you doing, Louis, from a sort of weights perspective? Because clearly you can tell I like to keep myself in good shape, even though
Look at his guns. Look at his guns there, Nick.
It must be a struggle. I don't know what you're like as an athlete, but for the guys that need to keep their strength up, the heavy deadlifters or maybe the muscle mass up, if they don't have their own gym in a garage, and I know you guys have paid a fortune nowadays anyway, can't afford that. But if you don't, well, someone like you, mate, has come through and absolutely flying this season. How are the guys managing it at Gloucester? How are you sort of managing that? Are you on a sort of rota for gym equipment, or are you completely not allowed to be in contact with each other and have to find your own means?
Yeah, so most of us already have gym equipment at the house, but Gloucester have supplied a few bits and bobs for the boys to do. But I've just been focusing on my speed training, just to keep on top of that, and then just been doing power in the gym. So I haven't been lifting really heavy. I've just been trying to do explosive movements, just to keep on top of my sprints. And
how fast can you go up the stairs now?
Very fast.
Single-legged bounds up the stairs, mate.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
You've had a great breakthrough season, but it must be quite frustrating for you. Everyone thought, Nick and I did think you were going to get a cap with Wales. You'd get your chance, and you're a try-scoring machine, but it's all been put to a halt at the moment. But looking forward, though, you must be looking forward to your first cap. What's it like being training with Wales, and of course, at Gloucester, you've got Johnny May who's coming back, might be putting pressure on you. So, what about the Wales thing? How's it been?
It was a good experience before this break. I was obviously in there for 6 weeks. But obviously I didn't get to play, which is a bit frustrating, but I know my time will come, hopefully, if I just keep performing. Obviously the Prem got cut short when I was doing all right, so I was a bit frustrated on that behalf as well, but when it all comes back to normal, hopefully I can keep scoring.
Yeah, mate, you were on absolute fire, weren't you then? How have you found the step up, if there is any, when you were in camp from Gloucester, from your sort of club rugby? Because clearly, obviously, club rugby over a long sort of period, the intense parts in the pre-season, start of the season, then you sort of got to manage your squad, and the intensity sort of in fits and starts depending on bodies and numbers and games. In the international environment, clearly, guys are brought together, competition for places. You want to show your best, in training, and make that impression, obviously, on the coaches. Have you found that a big step up, or have you sort of taken it in your stride? You sort of, from judging from your performances, mate, you look absolutely sort of to the manner born as far as international rugby. But sure, you probably won't be that confident on here.
It's a bit of both. Obviously, it's a step up in terms of intensity and the quality of training, but I'm just trying to take it in my stride, take it day by day in camp, and hopefully, we'll get back out there soon. And I want to play for Wales, so hopefully I'll get a cap very soon.
Just on that, playing for Wales, I mean, I know Eddie Jones was quite interested to play for England. Was there a little part of you, just a tiny little part of you, thinking? No,
I couldn't. No, I can't do that.
Wow.
Why, mate? Would you get filled in back over the Seven Breed?
Oh yeah, big time. I'd be disowned.
Oh, brilliant. So Johnny May's coming back to the club. Do you reckon? He loves his sprinting, and he's obviously one of the sharpest out there. Who's quicker? Be honest. You know what your 30-yard dash is and his is. Are you quicker than him?
30-yard dash. Have you ever heard that expression, Louis?
Whatever.
That is an old man talking, isn't it?
When he gets to the club next year, we'll have to have a race and we'll have to record it to see. That'll be a good race.
Who's your money on, Nick? Who's your money on, Nick?
Oh, mate, Louis, mate. He's already kicked him out, hasn't he? It will be good, mate, because you're both phenomenal athletes, to be fair, and what pace there is at Gloucester.
More importantly, by the way, is that. Have you got any sort of advice for Nick, because he's about to play FIFA Okay, and he's never played it, and he's playing against the cricketer. Is it Joss Butler? You're playing against Joss Butler.
Well, let me just tell you, I've been roped in last night, finishing off a barbecue. This is how late it was. I'm roped in by an ex-colleague of mine who's running sort of celebrity esports event, FIFA 20, for charity, hoping to raise a lot of money for the NHS charity. Yeah. And they had John Terry pull out. So some reason I was next on the list.
Similar standing, mate. Similar
standing, mate. And I've got to take on, Joss Butler. And I've literally just set it up on the phone before this podcast. I have no idea how to play. I've been told X is pass, circle is shoot. Yeah. Is that right? First of all, mate, do you play this game?
Yeah. I've been playing it every day for the past however long we've been in lockdown.
Right. So what we need to do is we need to somehow, just fiddle it a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. And
get his handle as Nick Easter.
Cut me with whatever you call it, the controller. But actually, Louis is playing the game for me. So somehow we need to get Louis to play as my.
Yeah.
Are you Gloucester champion? Are you beating the Gloucester boys?
Oh, we haven't had a competition, but I back myself. I've been absolutely smashing it this lockdown.
Do you?
Beating any of the Welsh players? Who have you played in the Welsh team? You've been beating them?
Leon Brown's good. There's a few good boys. Aaron Wainwright. We used to go into each other's rooms and just have a massive tournament 2v2. So
brilliant.
Yeah.
Is FIFA more popular than the Call of Duty? Is it now? You missed it right. Okay,
it's half and half between the squad.
You could only play one game now for the rest of your life.
Oh, brilliant!
Which one would it be? The new release of FIFA or the new release of COD?
I'd say FIFA.
This is a tougher decision than Wales-England, isn't it?
It is. I'd have to say FIFA. Yeah. Although I love Call of Duty, I've been smashing FIFA recently, and I got a bit of addicted.
Okay. So last thing on FIFA. Which international teams we're playing? These international teams, and I'll let you know the team I'm involved in a minute. But if you were to rank the top 4 teams on FIFA, which would be the strongest top 4 teams? My team's in it. Not that I've got hope in hell.
So number 1, you'd have to go France. Number 2, you'd go Germany.
Still not there.
Number 3, you'd go. Argentina, just because of the pace.
Oh, no, I haven't got Argentina.
I hope you're not England.
No, I'm not England. I think Joss Butler's England, actually.
And then for Portugal.
Yes, that's the team.
Yeah. Well, it's between Argentina and Portugal for 3rd.
Yeah, that's good. So I've got a strong team.
Yeah, you've got a chance.
So if I keep it under 10, I'm doing all right, aren't I?
Yeah. You'd obviously like to get the win, but it is what it is.
Well, listen, thanks very much for your time. Isn't it interesting that I think we're finding the rugby chat less important than the FIFA chat? That's the way the world is now, isn't it? But we look forward to getting your first cap, and we'd love to have you back on when the season reopens, and best of luck. And thanks for coming on.
Cheers, Bob.
Cheers, Louis, mate.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Cheers,
bye.
Ruck It with Kyran Bracken and Nick Easter.
So, Nick, we talked last week about it, and it's all in the press at the moment. There's a vote this week, I'm not sure when, for the president of World of Rugby, with Bill Bowman and P-Shot going against each other. Rumour has it that Bill Bowman has got more backing than P-Shot, but there's a lot of press. I heard a lot of people, Sir Clive Woodward speaking out, saying that he thought the game needed realigning and changing, and but it sounds like it's going to be a rubber stamp with Bill Bowman getting the vote. But it's interesting with the old and the new, and we talked about the idea of the promotion relegation of Six Nations and maybe about changes in the game. But it does feel like that a lot of people do want to see change, and the question is whether Bill Bowman, with another 4 years, will actually create those changes that's possibly needed in the game. But it's quite hard to know what's right and wrong. I mean, you said last week, almost quite rightly, about the Six Nations. If you start bringing everyone in, you kind of lose the sentiment of the Six Nations in a way. and a promotion relegation, God forbid, someone like Scotland or Wales has to play Georgia and Romania to get back into the championship. So it is interesting, and obviously the global calendar again. And I liked what you said last week about the international tours that we have, where we play South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, and they're nothing games. Yes, they're good for the public to see them play against each other, but actually they don't mean anything. And I think if they meant something, like you said in cricket,
you're referring to the autumn ones, aren't you? Because we obviously tour there in our summer, and just bringing back to the point I was trying to make is, and this has never been done before. I know they used to come on Grand Slam tours, and there was and play the 4 home unions and things like that, but just recreating basically that connection with the public, really. And it's like, I sort of use the analogy with Ashes cricket. They used to come right at the start of the summers, or West Indies or whoever was touring. They'd come at the start of the summer around April time, land on the shores, play all the counties in the lead up to the first test, and it was a 5-test series or whatever it was. And you really got engrossed with sort of the players, the characters, the personalities that were on that tour. And it also, from a sports perspective, it was a real test, because ultimately you're exposed so much more as a player that there wasn't any sort of element of surprise about what you're about. The analysis could be done on the bowler, the batsman, whatever. And so it was a true test. So the quality of cricket was excellent as well. And you built up, this anticipation, this tension as well throughout the series. And it really meant something. It lingered long in the memory as well. And
what are you advising there?
So what I'm sort of suggesting is, in the autumn, how about, one of the sort of Argentina, Japan, Pacific Islands, obviously the big 3 as well, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, they play one of our nations, but in a 3-test series. So they're only over for three weeks. So sometimes they play 4 games, both the home nation and away games. So you're saving a weekend. You actually have more meaning to it. You might have a couple of midweek games against Premiership sides, Pro 14 sides, whatever it might be, or French sides. France is one of the teams, and use that other weekend for the exposure of the Tier 2 nations. At Twickenham, at Stade de France, at the Millennium, and that's what I was sort of getting at. So you've still got the 4-week international calendar. But you bring more meaning to those touring sides coming over, and you can spread the games throughout the country. So if New Zealand came over, they could play a game at Newcastle, Old Trafford, one at Twickenham, whatever. So Twickenham still get their game. And I think those are the sort of changes that are needed. Less games but more meaningful games.
Because that's right. The summer, but it'd be interesting to see whether you can tie in the summer tours to the autumn to somehow make it meaningful. And I agree with what you're saying. I remember I particularly enjoyed, and I think it was 2000s or 99, where we went to South Africa and played a 2-test series. You rarely get these opportunities where you go to a country and play a proper series. But I do think, like you say, the Ashes is so spectacularly, sponsored and hyped up. And actually, we need to make it more interesting. The autumn and the summer somehow needs to combine in World Rugby to make something quite exciting. I don't know what that is. I like what you're saying. I love the idea, because I remember when I played the All Blacks first time, I played them for the North. I played them for the Southwest down in Cornwall, which was brilliant playing them there. And then I played them in England A at Newcastle. And then the following week, I played 1 test against New Zealand at Twickenham. And you're right. Sort of like 4-week tour, the personalities and the hype, and it builds and builds. And I think there's an opportunity there. I don't quite know what it is, but I do think the problem is, in a way, it's going to go down to player welfare, player releases with their clubs versus country. I do, however, feel, though, that now is a great opportunity. And I know that the RFU don't have the money, but I always feel that England would be better suited with centrally contracted players. That's my feeling. I also like the idea, and I don't know what you think, I just put it out there. I quite like, I don't know whether you've been watching The Last Dance on Netflix. Have you watched that?
Mate, it's I had a call with Carl Sinclair the other day. He said, Minty, you got to watch that. It's on my to-do list. I haven't started watching it, though. Apparently it's
if we went to central contracts and how that would work, I'm not sure. Just let's in a perfect world, because I think England would be better suited with central contract. And in a way, we're already centrally contracted to some extent, because a lot of them only play a quarter or a third of their club matches anyway, and they are if you have to sort of pay quite large amounts of their salaries to have them. So I would like to see central contract, but I'd also like to see the drafts done in a certain way, because if you have essential contracts, then you have a draft in a way where people can get so the best teams can get or the worst teams can get the better players, and those opportunities could be quite good. I just like the idea of it. But The Last Dance, if you get a chance, have a watch of it. It's very interesting how I think the Chicago Bulls at one stage, they didn't want to get to the playoffs because they wanted to be in the top 3 or 4 first drafts.
Of the draft.
And you say draft, I say draft, coming from Liverpool. But I'm just saying it's quite an interesting the way, if you look at how other people do it. I'm not sure it would necessarily work. It'd be quite exciting, wouldn't it? But I'm not sure how it would work if you'd trained all your time in the West Country and lived there and Bath, and suddenly had to go and play in Newcastle. It maybe not work.
Yeah, there's a lot less money in there for moving house and moving your family and moving your kids from school and things like that. I think practically that's been quite difficult. Where's the strength in rugby? It's still international game, I feel. Yeah. People come and watch it. It's the blue ribbon event. It's the flagship event. Unlike rugby league, where actually the club rugby's stronger than the international game. If you centrally contract, look at cricket. I'm just putting the devil's advocate spin on it. Look at cricket. The county game's gone to pot. No one watches it. No one really cares. We don't want that to happen with club rugby because it's gone from strength to strength. Yeah. I think it's the same thing, mate. Less is more. Don't dampen the quality. You can look after the player. If you had a 14-team premiership.
Yeah.
Split into 2 pools. You play each other twice. Immediately, that is 12 games.
Yeah.
Not 22.
Yeah.
You can then, if you need your summer tours and your autumn tours, fit that into the calendar with the Six Nations, with the Rugby Championship as well. You can also have the European competition as it stands.
Yeah.
And I just think, with CBC coming in, if they, how they can use it to market and generate income, because clearly they have more games for the income because home games are so big. We now know the figures, don't we, through this lockdown and of how much clubs are losing. But also, if they're given money, if they find a way to sort of monetize this situation, you build your stands, you grow your stands. So actually, less home games, you still get those fans coming through a greater number, Maybe 12 games is too little, realistically, and then you have maybe a sort of top 8 playoff all the way through. But I definitely think they just need less Premiership games. I mean, I don't think you don't need the Anglo-Welsh Cup or Premiership Cup. You can have less numbers in your playing squad as well, so everyone gets games. I do think you should be linked up to the rugby, the championship, our rugby championship, level 2, tier 2, because it's a great development ground as well for players as well as coaches. And I just think there's a massive, massive opportunity there to change the structure of club rugby. The problem you've got, Brax, is everyone knows there should be change, but no one wants to give up their slice of the pie. No one. No. It's always the other. And I think it's Premiership rugby that needs to have less games. International rugby needs maybe 1 or 2 less throughout the year. But Premiership rugby needs at least 4 games less than it's playing.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good idea. And another way, though, might well be is you can make up maybe 1 or 2 more games where, I don't know, Saracens do play the Hurricanes or whatever. You can have matches, so 1 or 2 more in the season. The problem is, like you say, it comes down to the breakup of the pie, and the clubs want more games all the time because they just need a little bit more money to pay the players, and it's a merry-go-round.
But look, if the unions can come and help, World Rugby, RFU can come and help. If they agree to this, the RFU go, right, well, actually, here's more money.
Here's more money, yeah.
Here's more money to make up the shortfall that you would be getting from these home games and everything. But you'd get. I know that Premiership does well in attendances, but you'd undoubtedly get sellouts all the time now because it's happening less.
Yeah.
You can certainly build and market the games to mean more, and each season it changes. So maybe the odd numbered positions, that they move into the other pool for the next year.
I think it's a really good idea. Like you say, if you have less games and then replicate those less games with international games, whereby a good proportion of that money now goes to the clubs, the clubs will make a lot more money. They would.
And I also think you can't. I think you need to keep the interest at the same level for the reason we're talking about tours. And I use the cricket analogy. The old tours of 5, whether it be the West Indies, Pakistan, Australia, whoever, but they were there for a sort of set period. Is what you can't do is have 3 Premiership games, 2 European, international. I think it needs to remain the same competition for as long as possible. So the interest is there.
Yeah.
Like, what's this game again? Does this go towards the league? With the spectators thinking, well, we lost to so-and-so. Yeah, but that didn't matter because that was in the league, that wasn't in Europe, or vice versa, or whatever it was. Yeah. It needs to be a block of matches where they're meaningful. Yes, then there'll be a break-up because that's the way the seasons are at the moment. You can't, if you're going to change one thing, it's going to be little by little.
I think
and then you bring it back as a block.
I think with our ideas, what we're basically saying is you and I need to run World Rugby. I'll go vice, and then I'll just... you can be head for a while. And
give Billy a call if you say he's cast iron certainty, if that's what you're thinking.
Ruck It with Kyran Bracken and Nick Easter, the brand new rugby podcast.
Right, Brax, we're on to our 15 of the week, and last week we had the Animal 15. We're still waiting to see what our subscribed listeners prefer or which team will win, which will be interesting. But this week we're not up against each other; we're sort of with each other. We decided. Again, to sort of go a little bit left field and look at British sportsmen or women that would make good rugby players. So if they decided not to be, an elite athlete in their field, would they have made a good rugby player, and therefore they'd be in our team? I'm doing the forwards, you're doing the backs. Yeah. And just briefly giving a reason, why they're in your team. You can go over many decades. It's not current sportsmen. And I think as well, the caveat is you've got to limit it to a maximum. So I'm doing forwards, you're doing backs, a maximum of 2 from one particular sport.
Okay, thanks for telling me now. That's fine. Yeah, that's all right.
It was. What, did you not get that on the memo?
No, I didn't get it, but that's all right. I can change out. But I just okay. As I'm changing my back line, let's do your pack.
Right, mate. So I have gone. I've probably transgressed the rules there. I have gone with Lucid Prop, good old Fatima Whitbread, javelin thrower from the 80s, mate.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Sturdy, explosive, mobile, so she can get around the park.
Yeah.
So I've gone with Fatima. I think she would have made a decent Lucid. On the tight head side, before I moved to hooker, I thought this is easy. Originally, I had Jeff Capes in there, but I thought, no, that's 280s again. So I went with, the latest Brit to win the world's strongest man back in 2017. Eddie Hall.
Eddie Hall, great one.
And, he's got the world deadlift record. I think he's still got it. Phenomenally strong, clearly the strongest man in the world before I think he retired after that, didn't he? But he's also got a bit of pedigree because his brother James, he played for Bristol for a bit.
Okay.
So there's a bit of rugby now in there as well. So he's not just there to, prop up the scrum and be the strong man.
Yeah.
In between them, I like this selection. This is my favourite selection here.
Go on.
This guy, he's a proper terrier, in your face. He's accurate as well, so his darts will be good. He's very accurate.
Oh, you've gone for
great scoring rate. Who have I gone with?
Darts player.
No, Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney. He looks like a hooker though, doesn't he?
Wayne Rooney, mate. I think he would have.
That's good. I like that.
You can't have a darts player in there. They wouldn't get around the park. We're saying if this is an alternative sport. Wayne Rooney, mate. I think that's a tasty front row, mate. What do you think? I think
that's well selected, well thought out. A little bit better than your Animal 15. I'm going to guess you've gone for second row. I bet you've gone for a rower.
Yes, correct.
I knew you. I don't know. I knew you had because I was going to put one in my back line when you asked me about half an hour ago. But anyway, I reckon you've got Steve Redgrave or Cracknell or Pinson. Okay.
I've gone with Pinson. He's taller than the other two, mate. He's got a good engine. Mate, why would you have put a rower in the back line? You know rowers, you know people
Yeah, I know.
have no ability in ball sports whatsoever. It's like cyclists.
Yes.
You know, they're great endurance athletes, competitive animals, but as far as handling the ball and game awareness and things like that, doesn't suit them. I've gone with another sort of endurance athlete, but I'm not sure how good they are on their feet. Rebecca Adlington.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Swimmer,
cool.
because we've got to go with alternative sports, you see.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
no. Well, I had Adam Peaty in my as a winger for me, but I've changed it out. I did have Adam Peaty in there, which I might keep. But yeah, no, that's a good one. Like it.
Rebecca Adlington in there. Yeah. So back row. You've got blindside flank. You need a big hitter. You need a guy who's going to intimidate. Anthony Joshua.
Ah, like it. Yeah. Okay.
Line out option.
Would
as well.
Would he last? Yeah. Don't know. Okay. Yeah.
Line out option as well. So I've gone with him. Big hitter. Strike fear into the opposition. Man mountain. I've gone with Jess Ennis at flank, at open side.
Oh, menace. She's just going to keep going, isn't she?
She'll keep going. She's explosive. She's got the skill set.
Yeah.
Seven skills, all there. Obviously, heptathlon, 7 events, number 7.
Yeah.
I've just thought of that, to be honest. It goes well, doesn't it? Didn't even have that in my thinking, to be honest with you. Yeah. Number 8. This was easy. Actually, to be honest, it wasn't easy. It was easy once Jess Ennis was in there, because I was going to have Daley Thompson, but
I was going to have Daley Thompson.
I thought you might want him, so I've left him there for you. I've gone with Ian Botham.
Ian Botham, beefy. Beefy, good.
Got the skills, mate. Match winner, glamour, likes to party, likes a good cigar. A man after my own heart, and mate, he's one of the great British sportsmen ever. And you stick him in there, mate. Team man, win your games, front up in the physical stakes, and in the skill set as well. So.
Like it.
What do you think? What do you think of that pack?
I think it's a good pack. I'd probably prefer Beefy at 6 and Joshua at 8. Should we go into the backs? Bearing in mind I didn't have that very long and I half changing all the time. But at number 9, the most important position is going to run everything. It's a tricky one. This player, cricket captain, is actually comes from Rush, which is only up the road from where I grew up in Skerries, County Dublin. So yes, he's Irish like myself, but ended up playing for England. Both of us won a World Cup winners medal, so that's sometimes on sports questions. But Owen Morgan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, right. Owen Morgan. I don't know what his fitness will be like, but he's a thinker, he's an organiser, he's all-rounded.
Look at that link. You got 2 cricketers there.
Yeah, you got
country.
Yeah, you have
big matches, been heroes themselves.
Yeah.
It's a great link you got there.
Yeah, right. And they'll know what they're doing. So, and he can organise people, whether he's captain or not. But my 10, who I think is going to be captain of the side by a mile, because
this is a big choice. You've got to get this right.
I know, and the reason why I think I've got it right is he's captain before as well. But I don't think in the pack there are many leaders. And they're all IQ quite low that you've picked, okay? So I think as a 10, I've got Steven Gerrard. Come on. Don't look at me like that, like you've got a better one. Steven Gerrard, Captain Marvel, knows what he's doing, organised. You've obviously got a better one, haven't you?
Mate, I'll be honest with you, I haven't given the backs a moment's thought.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking on my feet. All right. Yeah, good.
Yeah, that's all right. So Owen Morgan, Steven Gerrard, organised everything. Now listen, so what did you say?
Natural choices them. I think natural sports to come from there. Yeah, so let's have a bit more diversity, please.
No. Okay, so let's do my centres. My centres, I want a bit of power. I've gone for David Hay at inside centre. And then I've gone for, this is a strange one, this one. Steve Backley at 13.
Oh, yeah.
Javelin thrower.
Gone with another javelin thrower.
I've gone with a javelin thrower. I didn't know that you had a Fatima. So I've got a javelin thrower, and listen, I know Steve Backley, he's probably not that, endurance isn't great, but anyone gets past him, woof, Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean? Anyone gets past him?
Anyone
What on earth's
gets
happening?
past him.
You are struggling to reason this selection.
Throw out a little javelin and take him down.
Hey, I like the David Hayes selection because he's mobile and he's swift enough.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been a cruiserweight, he's been a light heavyweight, he's been a heavyweight.
Exactly.
He can adjust to the situation.
Exactly.
But Steve Backley, mate, I'm struggling with. I think he turned.
I want him.
He'll turn like the QE2.
He played a bit where he told me he played 8 and 12 when I spoke to him.
Right, so you selected him at 13 then, right?
Yeah,
that makes sense, doesn't it?
It's an obvious choice. I've got Linford Christie. I've got Linford Christie on one of the wings. I have to choose him. I'm a bit worried that.
Which wing?
I'm slight. Does it matter? I'm slightly worried.
Don't show your ignorance here, mate.
Okay.
Does it matter? Come on.
Really?
Passing off the right hand, give it gas.
I'm really worried about him catching a ball, though. He might be fast, but he doesn't look like he'd be able to catch.
You know what I'm more concerned about?
Go on.
Is his pickup pace isn't great. He was a great finisher, but his fastest part of his race was the last 20, 30 meters.
True.
Mate.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
in rugby, it's the first 5 to 25 as a winger, 40.
Yeah.
So I'm struggling to be convinced on that one.
Right.
He went with the lazy, easy choice.
No, I'm happy with it. I'm happy. Most people, I think he'd have been in there. Now, so my fullback and my other wing. I did a sprint against this girl on a bike, and she was absolutely unbelievably powerful. I've got Victoria Pendleton.
She's a sprinter, is she?
She's a sprinter, yeah. She knows what she's doing. She's a sprinter. But my fullback's one of my favourite selections. Is I've got Andy Murray.
Okay.
At fullback, obviously Wimbledon champion, and but he never gives up. He's quite gangly. He's got good hand-eye coordination.
Very well, then he covers the ground well.
He's going to cover. He's going to go side to side. He's going to get really annoyed with everyone. I'm glad
you selected him, because I was going to have him. I was thinking about him in the forwards, but I thought he breaks down with injury too much. There's no way of being the forwards. That ankle and back of his would struggle with about 3 tackles. So you've kept him out of the danger zone. He'll make about 3 cover tackles a game. Yeah. He'll come into the line nicely. He'll distribute nicely. Take the high balls. Cover the backfield beautifully. Yeah. Good selection.
So let's just give us your pack again, so everyone knows. I think it's a strong team.
I think it's an outstanding team. To be fair, I think you got loose head props are 1 through to 15. Loose head Fatima Whitbread, hooker Wayne Rooney, tight head Eddie Hall. Second row, I've got Rebecca Adlington and Matthew Pinson. Number 6, Anthony Joshua. Number 7, Jess Ennis. Number 8, Ian Botham.
And number 9, Owen Morgan from Rush in Ireland. Number 10, Stephen Gerrard, and captain of the team. Got Linford Christie, 11 on the wing. David Hay and Steve Batley in the centres. Victoria Pendleton on the wing with Andy Murray at fullback. That is one. Do you know what? Just give us a couple of names you were thinking of bringing who didn't quite make it.
How the hell is Daley Thompson not made it, mate?
Yeah,
how's Daley Thompson the great British sportsman?
But the problem is he's too versatile, and he's not the most amazing sprinter. He's not everything, is he? I see what you mean. Maybe he could have been a 10, couldn't he? He could have been a 10. But other people I had, like Lewis Hamilton, I was going to put him at 9. And
mate, what are you doing? Lewis Hamilton for Linford Christie. You
think so?
Let's make that change now. We've got too many athletes in there as well if you're going to keep Steve Freight Train Backley in there.
So we're going to put Lewis Hamilton instead of Linford Christie. I wonder what the public will feel about that.
I think that's a good choice, mate. He's got great get-up speed.
Do you reckon he's quick? Do you reckon he's quick enough, though? Seriously?
Easy, mate. Lewis Hamilton in there.
Okay, we'll put him in. I had Dina.
You got there, Brax. You know what you got there?
Go on.
So you've got 2 quite diminutive wingers, nippy wingers, quick wingers, but then you've got a big centre pairing.
Yes.
See, so you've got a big sort of immobile but powerful centre pairing there, but it's complemented by the 2 little nippy wingers. I'm loving
the back row as well with that centre partnership. That's power. So, but Jessica, you got Jessica Ennis in, yeah?
Yeah.
What is it? Do you not think she's she's very pretty and nice, and do you know what I mean? Do you think she's going to do the hard yards?
Mate, she doesn't care about her looks, mate. She just cares about the end goal. She cares about the team, doing it for the team. I mean, she was Team Great Britain, wasn't she, back in 2012?
Yeah, she was, yeah.
She was the face. You've got leaders across the park there, mate, I think, as well. Ian Both,
he's going to be on it. He's going to be out on it all the time, mate.
Jess Ennis, Owen Mortgage, mate, you're going to have a great party time as well, because Eddie Hall likes a good time. Yeah. Ian Botham, he'll be the judge in the court sessions. Yeah. He'll be running the social.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Lewis Hamilton, he likes a good time, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a good team. It's a good international team. We should challenge that team against someone else. We should get someone else, another podcast team.
Yeah, another podcast team.
But they've had a lot longer to think about it. We had 20 minutes. Do you reckon? Like, I was thinking about getting the best team we've ever played against, and the best team we've ever played with, and it'd be interesting to see if any of our players overlap, which I doubt because I'm a bit older than you. But it'd be interesting. I'd love to see who the best players you've ever played against. So maybe
I think for future podcasts we do that. Also, the best players you played with who never played for England, perhaps as well.
Yeah, that's a good
probably
one.
And not just deserved one cap, probably 10, 20 caps plus.
Yeah.
Anyway,
listeners
are obviously going to be up in arms that Daly's not in there, and probably a few others. But it's a good light debating point.
How have we not got Linford Christie on the wing now? Do you know what I mean?
Because you said he can't catch, and his get-up speed's after 70 metres.
Okay, all right, okay. Yeah, all right, let's live with it. Let's see what people think. I'd be interested to see what people's 15 are. Yeah, that's good. Okay. But I think we've picked a strong
team, mate. Strong team.
Ruck It with Kyran Bracken and Nick Easter, the brand new rugby podcast.
Oh, what a legend. Look at this man.
Oh, look at him.
Oh, he's aged well.
Oh, how are you, my man?
Oh, my friend, listen, Nick Easter didn't know. So I played with Nicky at Saracens, but great playing alongside you. But even better,
off the pitch
to be in the changing room with you with your guitars and singing away, especially after the win. And even when we lost, you had something to sing about, which was pretty good. But I loved it when we had at the end of the year, we had the court session, and you would be the guitar, and you'd be the court jester and joker, but
with a bucket carver there, no doubt, as well.
Rum and coke, Nick. Rum and coke, mate.
Rum and coke is it? Oh, that's the worst.
You've aged well. What's right? Listen, what are you taking, my man? Where are you in the world? You look really well.
East Kent, mate.
What are you doing now? What are you up to?
I'm a director of rugby in a little grammar school, mate. It's perfect for me because I don't know much else.
That's awesome, mate. How long have you been doing that?
8 years now. Yeah, haven't got the sack yet, mate, so I'm enjoying it.
Are your kids at the school?
No, my kids, 10 and just turned 9. So we're in a village, mate. A village. I'm the only one in the village.
Yeah, I'm the only one in the village.
The only one in the village. The only one that wears shirts like that. I love it.
Yeah. Got to bring some colour to ash, mate. Yeah, so you guys looking well too, mate. Shut up.
Oh, yeah, cheers, mate. Cheers, yeah.
We've had the do-it-yourself haircuts, and luckily the grainy footage doesn't show off the patches. Well, Brack's hairstyle.
Oh, you're still looking good, mate. You've still got those curls, haven't you? Yeah. Oh my God,
mate, you do it. So how's the singing going anyway, mate? And the guitaring? Have you got more time? Have you got more time for it now, or less time with your job?
Bit of the same. Just this morning, one of my daughter's friends came around. It's her birthday, so she was like 10 meters away, and we just played a happy birthday for her, and then she went on her way on her bike. So yeah.
And what's your? I mean, obviously your repertoire is so vast, but if you have a few, is there a favourite artist or your own songs that you prefer to play?
Right now, I play it easy because I think today everyone's stressed about and just want to be easy. And Brax, you hang with the Island Boys.
Yeah.
Cool attention.
Yeah, man.
We don't care about much, do we?
Yeah,
I'm just going to bring you something into shot here, Nicky. Hold on a sec. You carry on talking, you two.
By the way, don't expect me to add any value to this song, by the way. I can't, I can't sing and I can't play any instruments, but here we go.
And
it's his wife plays it.
No, but what I can do, mate, is I can play. You can play lead. I can play rhythm.
Nice. You can look at that.
You reckon?
Make it cry, mate.
Oh, this is brilliant.
Mate, in all fairness, mate, I can't play there. My missus' guitar, so I got really excited there, didn't I?
I tell you what, we'll be backing dancers. So come on, let's do this rendition. Let's have it, Nicky.
Yeah.
I will pretend to play on here, but you won't hear anything. I'll just pretend.
Right, okay. Look at that guitar. Hey, hang on a sec. Look at that thing. Wow. That's awesome.
What's that? Is that a National Steel?
No, mate, this is just a little old resonator. You know, Dire Straits, Mark Knopfler had one, and ever since I was like 10, I wanted one.
Yeah, but that's it, mate. He's my favourite. He's my favourite guitarist. That's the one he plays Romeo and Juliet on, isn't it?
That's the one. That's the one.
Well, if you've got that, mate, if you've got Romeo and Juliet, mate, I'm literally, you've made my year.
Just the other day, because I got time, I hung up all my guitars.
I like it.
These are like my 3 of the 4 World Cups I went to. I've got them signed at the back, so they're pretty special to me.
Brilliant.
Awesome. Right, mate. Are you going to let us know what you're playing, or are you just going to play?
The Easy by the Commodores.
Nice one.
Let's have it.
No, it sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. Girl, I'm leaving you tomorrow. Seems to me, girl, you know I've done all I can. You see a big stole and a borrow. Yeah. Ooh, so I'm easy. You guys can do that. Easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. Yeah. Easy like Sunday morning.
Oh, wow. What about that, man? That was awesome.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You're an absolute legend. I love that. Can we finish off with just one couple of questions about rugby? We may as well. International superstar for Fiji. As you know, there's a lot of talk about P-Shot sort of aiming to become president of World Rugby. And where do Fiji sit amongst all of this? Are you hoping P-Shot gets a say and Fiji and those unions get more of a chance to play the first 2 nations?
Well, when you think about it, we've been asking, hopefully the island teams are everyone's second team, you know? Hopefully Fiji is all the English players' second team. Go on, Fiji, if it's not England. So we've been asking this for a long time. Why don't the guys who are playing Tier 1 spent go back and play for the island?
Yes.
To help us, yes.
Yeah. So Billy Vanapola, go and play for Tonga.
Mate.
Yeah.
That's what, isn't that what Bill Beaumont said that, didn't he? He said that he may bring that back.
Well, look, how long's Billy been in the job?
4 years.
Well, yeah, good point. I get your point.
See? So Billy, he's had the power, but he hasn't. But now that Pisho's sort of up him a little bit, now they're playing political games, which is...
exactly, yeah.
So, mate, it is what it is. I don't care who runs. I don't care.
Mate, but New Zealand won't have a team then.
I think that's different because they'll get them from, the Islanders come over for school. So they're from school all the way. And then once they're finished in the All Blacks, they can still go back and,
I agree. I think that's something that they should always do.
These guys playing for England, playing for Ireland, playing for around the world because it sends more money back to the villages. And once they're done, once they can't give Ireland or England their best, they've got to get out. And if they still want to, they can come play for the Islands for no money.
Yeah, you've heard it here now. Let's do it. Don't you reckon, Nick?
Mate, well, look, as Nicky says, though, we've trodden this ground before, and it was a success, and there was no problem with it. So it's not like we're into the unknown.
All of a sudden, now Billy Beaumont wants Fiji's vote. All of a sudden, Pichot, they want the vote from the Islanders. Come on now.
Yeah, but your chairman goes around killing people, so you haven't got that vote.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. To me, that's not right, is it, Nick?
But how can they not do due diligence on that, though?
He needs to sing my song a bit more, doesn't he?
He needs to chill out. He probably got a bit stressed at the time, didn't he? But,
yeah.
Well, listen, you've still got the guns, you've still got the looks, you can still sing, and we appreciate you coming on and sort of that with that rendition, cheering us all up. And I hope lockdown is good for you and your family. Stay safe, my man.
Yeah, stay safe. Great to hear from you.
Brax, cheers, mate.
Cheers, my man. You're a ledge.
Ruck It with Kyran Bracken and Nick Easter.
Well, thanks for listening, and you can see us on our YouTube channel. Just search up Ruck It and we'll pop up there, and you can listen to our dulcet tones and see our lovely faces, me with a little bit of a bald head and Nick Easter with more hair. But thanks for listening. Please tell your friends about us. We'll hopefully keep continuing talk and drivel about rugby and all sorts of different things. But from Ruck It, thanks for listening.